Welcome this edition to Kriegs Korner. That's Corner with a K. Today, I'm joined by the second half of Fuzey Designs, good friend of mine, Bradlee. What's going on, buddy? How you been?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Just working, bro. That's it.
I know I'm lucky to have Bradlee squeeze me in his busy schedule. We're gonna get
I'm
into a little bit about his schedule, but
anything for you, Krieger.
I appreciate that. Bradlee's a good friend of
I,
mine.
I'm actually a little bit upset that I was asked so late to Krieger's Corner, but I digress. That's a different situation.
Listen, Bradley and I go way back. I've been a part of some of his internships and startups. I've been an intern for him before. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, but
Back in the
one
day.
one
Back
one
in the
question
day.
one
Say what's
question
up.
I want to ask Bradley, and I've probably wanted to ask him this for a while, but so Bradley straight out of college went into a pretty lucrative job in the financial world. I don't know how much you want to get into it, but I want to know why you liked it, why you didn't, why you ended up not liking it, but what got you into it in the first place, and kind of
Okay.
give me a little bit about that world and the stock market
Well,
extravaganza.
well, listen. I'm just gonna be completely honest, right?
It's the
We
way we
grew
want it.
we grew up in Westchester. Education is a big thing, right? Status is a big thing,
Of
getting the right
course.
job is a big thing. So it really starts with that. Okay. So like I'm a type A personality. So my entire life, and I'm very competitive. So my entire life, like very focused on getting good grades, getting into the best school, because we're really like, I really thought that if I didn't get into, a great school, then I was going to be screwed over in life. That was like my thought process growing up, based on my education, based on where we grew up. Um, and so that was a track I went on. I ended up going to Vanderbilt, and once I was at Vanderbilt, I was an economics major completely, to be honest with you, just because I'm like, okay, after college, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to live in Manhattan. So I want to work in finance. And like everyone at Vanderbilt was basically striving for the same thing. It was a very competitive environment, which is what I've always been used to. So, and that we could get into it, but this is something that I learned along the path. Like you need to really like take a step back and think about what you're doing. Like in
Okay.
general, you know what I mean? So like the real reason why I ended up in finance was just because that was the most prestigious thing. Like, I was a sheep following the herd, man. Like, to be honest.
The sheep in
But
line
like,
analogy is something I heard a lot when I was spending my time with Bradley. But continue.
uh, but I mean, I did enjoy. I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy like the concept of stocks. Like I was never a stock investor growing up, and most people that end up in finance aren't to begin with. Like the space is very, I don't know about now, it's starting to balance itself out. But when I was there, I got it in 2014, I started career in finance. The space is oversaturated. Everybody wanted to be in finance and get a job at one of the top banks or asset managers at Vanderbilt, at least.
So that
So
was where you ended up. You ended up in finance. And
yeah,
how long into your time there did you realize that it probably wasn't for you? And give like what were those? Like, give me like your finally like your fuck it moment where you're like, you know what, like I had enough of this, and you wanted to do your own thing, which is
I mean, so I was there for 2 years. The first year, I I did everything in my power to convince myself that I liked it. Like literally everything in my power, but like in the end, when push comes to shove, like I I like creating things. I'm creative, and I was basically like I was entering information into spreadsheets. Like I wasn't like the concepts that I was learning about weren't interesting me at all, like at all. And so, I mean, like I went through the motions. I was making good money doing it. It was about after a year though. After a year, I was like, listen, like I had to make a big life decision. I'm like, listen, do I do I want to live like do I want to live or do I want to be comfortable? Because like I was on the right track to never have to worry about money for my entire life, be very comfortable. I was living in Manhattan. I was money was coming into my bank account. I didn't have to worry about money. I could spend whatever I want. Like I was having very fun social life, but it was like I'm like, what do you want to do, Brad? Like, do you want to live 2 days a week? Like I was living for the weekend. Okay. I was
Okay.
living for the weekend. And like when push comes to shove, I think it my biggest fear in life is just to be like common
You don't want to be a
and
shit.
uh, just to be common and like live a common life, like, find a girl, find a girl, work in finance or get a nice corporate job, not really have to worry about money, start a family, you know, when you're 35 and you have your first kid, move out of the city and back into Westchester and then just bully and just be like miserable,
Yeah, there is
you
like
know?
there's a very rigid path, or at least from where we're from, where it's the same thing. Like after
Yeah,
college, everyone goes to the city, they party it up,
yeah,
they do what they got to do, and then
yeah,
they have their kid, and they come back to their cozy little town in Westchester. But so
yeah.
so after that,
So But I'll
no,
tell you, I'll tell you really what the trend. So I took okay. So after a year, I was really starting to get antsy. Okay, I was getting antsy. I was like, all right, this does not feel right. Like so, like I need to start doing something to make my next move. Like I knew after the first year that I was not going to be in finance for my entire life. There's absolutely no way. Okay, so I signed up for. So I started talking to people. Right, I had a few mentors in the city, and one of them suggested that I sign up for a class at General Assembly, which is like it. It's like they offer like different things like software development, and I took a class called product management, which was very interesting. I absolutely loved the class. And the final project was to essentially like come up with the business concept. All right. And the concept that I came up with was an online resale business because I personally, my entire life, I always used eBay. eBay was very valuable to me, but at the same time, I hated it. Like I did not like eBay at all. It was a pain in the ass. It was sketchy. It took too much skill. It took too much skill to sell product. So my assumption was like more people would resell their products if it was easier and required less skill. All right, so that was basically the concept that I worked on with this class, and it just turned. It went. Yeah, what's up?
oh no, that
What?
no, nothing.
What?
That the rest is kind of that is where Bradley and I's paths cross for the like. I mean, obviously, Adam's
This is yeah.
his brother is my best friend. We're literally grew up like 7 or 8 houses down the street from each other. But Adam was at school, and Bradley had just he kind of pitched me that business he just said, the resale business, and I got my first little. This is where Bradley and I kind of like really, had our first true meetings and figured out our life, and at
Yeah,
least for my shit's never gone back since. But I don't know how much more you want
same.
to get into that.
Same. Well, I mean, basically everything changed. Like the class ended, and like I was hanging out with my roommate. We were on our balcony in the Lower East Side, hanging out. I was just talking about it. I was like, yo, I was like, I can't stand my job anymore. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, and I really like this business. I like this business, like, this resale business. I really think it could go somewhere. And he was like, why don't you just start trying? He like said something very simple. He was just like, why don't you like start working on it or something? And something clicked in my mind, and that was it. I ran back into my room, and I immediately started working on it, and that was the turning point in my entire life, because 2 months after that, we had an entire business plan. I found a partner who was one of my best friends at the time. And by September, I think this happened in May, by September, I moved out. Like, I moved out of the city. That was it. And I moved back into my parents' home.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's
moved back into my parents' home after essentially living on my own, like, for 7 years. You
yeah,
know,
it's a
college in the
crazy
city
switch
was
up.
nuts. It was
Crazy
crazy.
switch up. You go from Tennessee to the city, living like a typical New York City life, like as you would see, and
Yeah,
then whatever it was, 5 months later, you're back in Westchester, sleeping in your same twin bed, working in the basement.
yeah. Hanging out with my dog, that was nice.
Shout out Binya. But
Yeah,
so we're getting into, so like you just said, September, you go home, you have
yeah.
this business, you have it all laid out, and then I was home, I was doing community college, I was just wasting my life away, and we obviously are close, and you were like, why don't you come drive and deliver for me?
Well, we weren't close yet.
Not well, we were closer
I,
proximity, closer proximity,
in,
but yeah.
true. Okay, fine.
And
I'll give you that.
obviously, the Adam best friend, I was bored as shit. All my friends were away at school, and I was like, "Fuck it, I just need something to do at night." Bradley's like, "Yeah,
Yep.
come drive for me. You'll come deliver packages." I don't think I
Yep.
made one actual car trip, and that,
No.
and that was where I kind of got my first, like, you called me an intern. I didn't my what I would consider an internship, and we
We
got
did
going.
things.
I did things.
It,
Listen, I learned Slack. That is one thing that I know you don't use Slack anymore, but now at Vendetta we use it
no,
all the
no.
time. And it is, if I didn't learn that shit with you, I would have never had an idea what I was doing. Shit is insane. But so you do your business, you go through that, and obviously that's not what you're continuing to do now. But in that
Will
little,
it
what?
go?
No.
Continue.
I was in that little. Go.
Well, it's like, I am you're saying I'm not doing that now. Like,
You're not doing that
I am doing
specific thing now.
Yeah, but it's all it's all under the exact same umbrella, which
How?
is like entrepreneurship, starting your
Okay.
own business. It's the same umbrella.
Okay,
Like,
I was
there's
talking
no
about
difference.
specifics. What you were doing at the company is very different than what you're doing now. However,
Yeah. Okay.
you you do the resale, and it's your first crack at entrepreneurship. You're doing
Yeah.
it back in your parents' basement. Like,
Yeah.
give me some of the things you learned that you've carried on to this day, and some of the things that you wish looking back on that you would have changed.
Okay, so the first thing that I learned, the most important thing that I learned, is that by far, it's not even close. The most important decisions with your own business, with business in general, is the people. Okay, it's the people. It's not the skill set. It's not the skill sets. It's not even the idea for the business itself. That's extremely important, as is the market. But the number one thing that you need to get right, the number one thing that you need to get right, is the people. Okay, and before you make any hiring decisions or like partnership decisions or anything like that, you need to take a step back, and you need to really think about that decision, and you need to be honest with yourself. Because I'm telling you, like, everybody, they have those gut feelings deep inside that they do not want to listen to. And I had those through all stages so far in my career. Those are always there. It's about being able to tap into them, okay, and accepting them. And like, that's the biggest thing I've learned thus far. It's like, if the people aren't right, the business will never be correct. It will never work. Okay, never.
Never work. That That we saw a little bit
Never.
firsthand.
And it's
However,
like, it's it's so obvious. It's such an obvious thing when you really think about it. But it's like coming from 12, 15 years of education, it's like you don't like, I wasn't thinking like that in a way.
I mean, it makes sense for whatever reason. The choices that were made were they seemed right at the time, and even if you knew deep down that something was off, it, you like you said, you didn't trust yourself, you didn't trust your gut, whatever the specific reason was that you ignored it. And so, I mean, listening to your gut and to your no, you're a smart dude. Everyone knows what's best for themselves. At least they think they do. So you have to listen to your true instincts and figure out what's going on. So
Correct.
one business down, then you go to the next one. Same thing. You know, what do you give me something that you're picking up on along each step of the way, other than the people?
Other than the people, what am I picking up
Like
for the next
what's
business?
like what skills did you learn from the first
Oh, okay.
company, and then
Okay.
that you carry
Okay.
into the second
So,
company that you're carrying into now?
okay. Especially with entrepreneurship, like another thing I learned is everything is cumulative. It's not like an overnight success type of story, right? That like you read it in the paper, like overnight some kids like started like Facebook, some kids started like a social media site, overnight success. No, like Mark Zuckerberg, that like his entire life he was coding and making different software and trying it out. No, it's a cumulative process, right? So with the second business with Formsy, obviously, it it was an app. It was an app which I ended up learning how to code, and I became a software developer. Because we needed one and we couldn't find a good one. So I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna teach myself, which I'm not necessarily advocating for that decision. I don't necessarily think that was a good decision, by the way. But at the same time, like now I'm a software developer. So I have that skill set, and the most, I think, like I use it all the time, right? It opens up a ton of avenues for us and our businesses. Um, and it's also important because now I could hire software developers because I understand the language. So now I can make better hiring decisions. And especially right now, like we are in a digital world and transitioning more and more into a digital world. So like the skill set is extremely relevant at the moment.
The coding thing is kind of crazy because people go to schools for years and years of that, and then all of a sudden 6 months goes by and Bradley's just fucking learning how to build his own website, his own app. He knows how to do everything, and he just carried that on into what he's doing now. So,
Yeah.
like I mentioned before, the second half of Fuzey Designs, uh, you're maybe not as much the public face of it, but what do you like?
I'm not.
What do you do on a day-to-day basis? Because I know one Adam's
All
designing a
right.
lot, and then you're doing kind of
All
I don't
right,
want
I'll
to say
tell
the rest
you.
of it, but like
I'll walk. Yeah, like the
walk me
rest of
through it.
it.
Yeah.
The rest of it. Yeah. So okay, like all the customer stuff, all of the sales, right? All of the organization, all of the organization of the business, right? So we have a database. We have a database with all of our customers, all of our sales, all of our designs, right? So there's that. And then I do design. I do a ton of designing too, because I have to do all of the. So Fuzey Designs is like we do the graphics, and then we also do a lot of animated work, a lot. And so I do all of the animated work. So that's something, that's another skill that I picked up by doing this business, right? We were designing graphics for people, and so many people were like, I wanted animated, I wanted animated, I wanted animated. And we didn't have those skill sets. So I had to learn it. Adam's purely focused because he's like an artistic genius. So he's purely focused on like designing graphics. And then just like there's so many Krieger, there's a lot of things.
So how did you and Adam end up working together? Because you were
What
doing
do
all
you
on
think?
your own.
How do you think?
I know the answer. Give me a little bit of insight.
Oh, true. Okay. All right. How do we start working together? Like, I don't know. Like Adam, I I was doing my own thing. I'm 5 years older than Adam. So it's like I was being I was on my entrepreneurial journey for like 2-3 years by the time Adam just got out of college. And Adam is not the type of person who could ever work in a corporate environment or get like a real job. Like he can
Yeah,
no.
he said that himself on the
Like
show.
yeah, like he can't do that. So it was just a natural decision. It's like, okay, it's like his older brother, right, is doing this entrepreneurship thing. Like he's obviously going to go there. So that's just that's how it worked out.
What's the
And Adam,
dynamic like of working with family? You think it's harder
mm,
than working with friends? Like you kind of done it all a little bit. You've worked with just regular colleagues at your first job, and then you've tried with friends and whatever it is.
I don't really think it's a family friend type of thing. I really think it just has to do with the person, with the people.
Yeah,
Like it's not. There's really no difference between like, are you working with family, or working with friend? Because like when you're working with someone, it's like now you each have obligations towards each other, and that completely changes the relationship dynamics, like completely. So like friends, family, like that gets thrown out of the window.
yeah. I mean, it's I've been in the room with you guys when you're working, when it's been all fun and dandy, and then times where it just
Oh,
explodes. But it's just I was curious to see like what it was like on a day-to-day basis because people say all the time working with family sucks, but I've never had an interaction like that. I work with my family as well, but like on the other hand, my mom was like, if I had to work with my dad, she's like, I would just move out of the house. Like I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
yeah. Well, I mean, like with Adam and me, it's I would say for most of the day we're not talking to each other. We're both in our computer because we're working. Like we're working. We have way too much work to begin with. So it's
Yeah, you
like
guys are fucking
time,
squirrels.
like we need to be as efficient as possible with our time. And that's what we're like that's one thing that we're learning.
I meant to ask you this earlier. What do you know about NFTs and the digital art current? Like,
Non-fungible tokens.
yeah, like give me a
I know
little.
it's a I it's a I know it's a okay. Okay. NFTs are very simple. Let's think of baseball cards. Okay, right? So you know how with certain baseball cards they have serial numbers, 1 out of 10, 1 out of a
Yep, yep, yep.
hundred. Okay, it's the NFT is the same concept as a baseball card. It has no intrinsic value, right? But the but by creating a limited number of prints, a limited number, it creates rarity and value, right? So think about a photo, like a digital photo, a digital photo on Google, right? I could just go to Google and boom, I could copy and paste, boom, I could get that photo right away. But if you an NFT is saying, you know what? No, there's only going to be 1,000. There's only going to be 1,000 of those photos available, even though it's the exact same photo, the same way it's the exact same baseball cards, right? There's only going to be 1,000 of those photos. So rarity is artificially created, which produces value. That's like literally all it is.
Dude, NFTs are like crazy right now. Top Shot
Dude,
kind of
they're
was like the
on,
introduction
dude,
to it. I don't know how much you've read into the NBA
bro,
Top Shot
bro.
stuff, but
I don't know any. No, dude. I barely read anything. I barely read anything about NFTs,
So
but
NBA
I
Top
know what
Shot
they are.
is it's the same idea. The NBA and like a blockchain company have come together where you can literally own highlights of NBA games, and they're selling them as
Yeah,
like baseball cards, and they're going
yeah,
crazy. The resale
yeah,
value on them
yeah.
are we just in
Totally,
a like are we just in like
dude.
a weird NFT bubble? Like is it the future?
Absolutely not. Yeah, yeah, bro. Absolutely not. No, this is not a bubble.
Is that something we
It's
can
the
see Fuzey
beginning. It's
Designs
the
getting into?
beginning. Oh, NFT. You don't understand how relevant NFTs are. The concept of NFT is to Fuzey Designs business, because our entire business is digital. Everything is digital. We have a website. It's called the Fuzey Shop, right? We're Twitch, we're streamers. They could purchase emotes and sub badges. I know I'm sure a lot of your listeners don't even know what that means, but but essentially when push comes to shove, it's people are purchasing images. They're purchasing images. And and right now, like, people want people want unique things, right? So like on the Fusey shop, for example, we sell emotes. It's like each, even though we could sell that same emote an unlimited number of times, we don't do that. There's each emote gets sold once and that's it, because of the rarity concept. So connect that with NFT. It's like,
It's a
what if we
crazy
change
fucking
it?
world.
It's a crazy, bro, dude. I'm telling, especially with COVID. Oh my god, COVID is just speeding up this digital change. Like, I know we've been experiencing a digital revolution for a while, but like, we're still. My opinion is that we're still at the beginning of it.
It's crazy just because like we're still at the beginning, but obviously like online classes and all this shit we were fully capable of doing for the last God knows how
Yeah,
long, 5 years, telemedicine, all that shit. And now like
yeah.
you're right, the pandemic literally just poured fuel on it and it just exploded, and it's kind
Oh
of something
yeah.
that we're never going to look back on. Do you think it's ever going to like correct back or no? Or we're just this is just the
No,
ignition?
no, 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 no. It's again. It's I always thought it was gonna go this way. Like everything, like not everything, but like over time, the amount of physical connection will diminish and the amount of digital connection will increase. And it won't stop. It'll just keep going and going and going. And COVID just like sped it up a little bit, sped it up a few years.
A
You
little
know,
bit
it's
or
like
a
we're
lot of it?
not, there's a long way to go still. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go.
I
But
think
like
our
it is
actual technology needs to catch up first, though, because like even still, like
oh, absolutely.
internet
There
sucks
oh,
still.
absolutely.
Like we're still like the hardware stuff that revolves around it still kind of sucks because like me and you were talking about this recently the other day, but like I still can't even fucking edit the video that my computer sound like it's gonna be like there's a plane taking off, and you guys have computer
Well,
issues more than
the,
anyone else I know, and
it's not really issue. It's not issues. It's just more about like what you're asking the computer to do. So like our work, like graphic designs, animated work, video editing, that's the most computer intensive process.
but when are the computers gonna catch up?
It's not about catching up. It's more about reducing cost, I think. Because like, it's you with your computer, you just need more memory. You just need more RAM in your computer.
Yeah, you're
It
probably
gets
right.
very expensive. It's very expensive. It's extremely expensive to purchase a computer that could seamlessly edit high quality videos.
Yeah, you're probably right. And like I
You
said,
know,
I'm just an intern. I don't have the money to
but
drop on a brand new computer like that.
it's expensive. It's like, unless you like, our business, we need really good computers.
It's an actual like in business investment. It can't just be like something
It
you do for a
I
hobby.
mean,
It's tax
I'll
revenue.
I'll I'll give you a direct. It's like, okay, I'll give you an example. It's like my old computer, when I was trying to do animations, it would take 10 minutes for the computer to render for me to even preview the animation or the one change that I made. So like think about that with workflow and business. And our most precious thing to begin with is timing. It's time. We don't have enough time to begin with. We're swamped. People are waiting over a month to get their designs right now. So it's like if you have a computer, if you have a tool, it's crazy, but it's like it's the beginning.
Well, I'm just saying, like time wise, like how long ago did you guys have we're about like a year, a little more than a year into Fuzey. Is that right?
It started in Krieger, the first day of Fuzey, Krieger was there. Krieger was there with me. And remember that? Remember, dude, on Twitter, that was a great day. It was November. It was either November 7th, no, December 7th or December 7th. December 7th, 2019. Does that make sense?
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, December 7th, 2019. And we're just like all these people are just like hitting us up on Adam's Twitter account, being like, I want designs. Oh, can you make me some emotes? I'm like, Krieger, what the fuck is an emote?
Yeah, I had to literally explain to Bradlee what Twitch was at first, and
Krieger was next to me. He was next to me explaining everything. Because I never
screenshots of games to figure out like what things would look good and what like yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, it was a fun day for sure. So it's been a little over a year.
It's crazy. Now you guys have a month long waiting list growing. Okay.
We have a month-long waiting list. We have a online shop that is in its infancy. Just wait. I can't disclose too many things about it, but like
secretive. I got one more question. And like you said, you handle most of the social and the Twitter, which is how you get pretty much all your customer acquisitions, that and word of mouth. But you guys, your Twitter has grown literally like exponentially. Give me some little tricks, and not tricks, but tips and stuff you've done to make sure that your following has grown and you stay connected to your followers.
Okay. All right. Ready? Here it is. Here's the tip. The tip is to be present. It's to be present and there and active. Like that's it. And let me say, like, I'm figuring this out myself. Like, I am not an expert online community builder. Okay, I'm not. Like, I've gained so much respect for that skill, by the way, growing communities online. It's very creative, it's strategic, it is not easy. It's not easy. But like one thing I've learned, it's like if we're not active, like if say I'm nose deep in a design, I'm working on it nose deep in an animation, and there's like a day that I'm really not like responding to people too much on our Twitter and liking people's comments and posts and talking to people. Direct correlation to sales. Direct.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. Like when push comes to shove, it's like to build an online community, you need to have unique content. Number one, you need to have unique content, number one. And number two is you need to be active. You need to be active and present. Keeping it up to date. Yes.
Yeah, I've been trying to build my little online community. We've got obviously the podcast now is like the vehicle, but you know, I've been on Twitter for a minute. Just my numbers are kind of stale, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, how often do you tweet, Krieger?
I try and get at least 3 to 4 tweets out a day.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Then it's probably your content. It's probably a content situation.
Well,
it's also
the reason that I think is because I'm, as of now, like my tweets are just like my comments on my like other articles that I've written. I'm doing a lot of writing and I'm just trying to get impressions that way. And I've kind of gone through I'm figuring it out, and I need to have more like genuine tweets as opposed to just like retweets of my stories and that type of stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. but it's also the platform, like Twitter. Twitter is bite-sized shit.
I love
Like
Twitter.
me too. I love Twitter so much.
Twitter's my favorite.
Twitter, I was born in 92. So like I was like I was at the eighth grade, I got Facebook. Like some girl signed me up for he signed me up for made a Facebook for me in eighth grade. That was the beginning of my social media life. All right. So it's like, but like nowadays, like the kids, they're starting social media much younger than eighth grade, right?
Oh my God, it's so
You
much
know,
younger.
so it's like I still had the like no social media experience, right? So it's like I see there's so many negatives about social media, but there's also so many positives.
It's
You know,
incredible. What
it's
social media
it,
has done for the world is literally
it,
ridiculous, and it's something
it's
that was
yeah,
one of the first like
the
technologies
impact,
has been.
the impact, and again, it's like still the beginning.
It's it's getting into a weird stage though, where like because everyone has a platform, like everyone's getting canceled, and it,
That's weird.
it
I don't know what the fuck this cancel shit is. Like,
dude, cancel culture is the worst.
dude, what
The,
is that?
the
Like,
absolute
what is
worst.
that?
We're
Like
in the, like the
that,
time where we can't have fun, crack jokes or anything like that. It's absolutely
you know,
ridiculous.
well, that is upsetting. That does upset me. Like, it does upset me that you really need to think before you do anything.
I don't know if that's the case or if it's just like you need to have like a common sense and have a brain because there's no way that you know this, but there's this big Twitch streamer, Myers Leonard, a few days ago dropped a hard K bomb on stream. So he not only is he a
What's
Twitch streamer,
K bomb?
yeah, it's an anti-Semitic slur towards Jewish people. I'm not saying it on the
Oh,
show. Yeah. So
damn! What
this
the
dude,
fuck?
this dude is on the Miami Heat. He's a professional basketball player, an investor in FaZe, and he streams very regularly on Twitch. This dude wound up hard K bomb. Like it's not like he let it slip. Like he thought about what he was gonna say and then said it. And people were like, "Oh, like why are we canceling him?" There's a very big difference between canceling someone for making a dumb joke and being like an actual like hateful, hurtful person.
Okay, I'll give you an example. What bothers me? Like okay, the other day on Twitter, it's like cancel Eminem. I saw cancel M.
Uh,
Listen, I don't even like I don't need dude. I fucking don't. I don't like Eminem's music at all. But it's like come on, people. It's like Eminem like cancel Eminem's music because his lyrics are controversial or I don't even know why they're trying to cancel him. It's because of this. It's because this is a big problem that I'm seeing, and social media augments this problem. It's like you cannot assess like people's decisions and actions from the past in present terms. You cannot do that. That's unfair.
yeah, the like the retroactive and the that type of shit is just
You're like,
brutal, and
yeah, like you can't do that.
but it's just it's yeah it times have
That's
changed
what
obviously so much so quickly, and the last 8 years with whatever's gone on in the country has been absolutely ignited the shit out of that like cancel culture and like retroactively calling for people's heads, but shit is so stupid. But I just want to we're
I
just
mean,
a
like it's
little
just unfair. It's just I don't know.
I mean, the
I don't
fact that
know.
you have to like go through and like, I mean, I did this and before, like, I did this a few years ago actually when this shit was really starting to get popular. But like, I literally had to go back through my Twitter and just read all my first tweets that make sure that because obviously stuff gets deleted and stuff some loses context over the years. But like, to have
That
yeah, the context is the biggest
that's
thing.
the problem. That's my issue. That's my issue with it. It's like there's too much of that going on. It's like they're assessing people's decisions and actions using current context. You can't do that.
Never.
It's unfair. And a lot of cancel culture is derived from that.
It's all derived from that. It's derived
It's
from
all
people
derived from that.
not getting their way or disagreeing with one thing. So you just want to end someone's life. They want everyone to
It,
agree the same way as them. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I truly believe that we're going to have an overcorrection back. Is that stuff will be allowed to be funny again? Like the Chappelle show will be able to be laughed at again, like
Oh,
shit like that. Like it's
like freedom of speech.
like
You're talking about, yeah.
yeah,
You're
I am
yeah.
talking about freedom of speech, but I
Well, yeah.
truly hope one day that that shit comes back because I cannot, see raising kids in a world where we can't laugh at a fucking joke. But
Well,
that's all.
I mean, you could like, I don't know if it's like that intense. Like, there's still some laughing going on. There's laughing going on,
Yeah, but you
but
can't laugh
it's with
publicly.
certain it's like with certain things. It's with certain things. Like some things are just off limits. Like you could like I'm not. I don't even want. I'm gonna be too controversial. I'm not getting into it.
All right,
Nope.
I'm gonna let you
Nope.
go.
Nope.
We don't have to get
Nope.
controversial. We had a
You
great
know what?
show. We're not
Next
gonna ruin
time,
it.
next Krieger, next time, if you invite me on, if I did a good job, you invite me on again. Next time we'll get more controversial.
I love it. We did a
All
great job.
right,
Bradley, thanks for coming on. You can follow them
Krieg.
at FFUZEY on Twitter, all your Twitch, YouTube, streaming, anything graphics you need. My logo, made by Fuzey Designs. It's
Hit
incredible.
us up.
Everyone loves it.
If you're a Twitch streamer, check out the Fuzey shop. Fuzey, the FUZEY designs.com/shop. You can
Big
get tons of emotes and sub badges that for good prices that you could purchase and download instantly right off the site.
huge shit's coming for them. I'm really happy for my boys down there. Listen, I got both halves of Fuzey Designs, 2/3 of the Pesce brothers. It's a fun time. All right, everyone.
Kree's a
Thanks for
family
joining
member.
on. The
Kree's an
honorary fourth.
honorary brother.
Shout out Mama Pesh. See
All
you
right,
guys
Krieg.
later. Peace out.
The following is brought to you in partnership by Symbol. Symbol is a new sports marketplace where you can trade shares of professional teams like stocks. You love sports. You interested in fantasy sports without the weekly annoyance of fantasy league upkeep? Then Symbol's the app for you. With Symbol, fantasy sports is going to a whole other level. How it works is simple. You buy Symbol shares for your favorite sim teams on the app. When your sim team wins, you get automatic cash deposits, and you don't lose any money when they lose. That's it. So if you follow trends across football, basketball, and baseball, and you think your team is a sleeper, simply invest in your favorite sim teams on Symbol and watch your virtual portfolio prove you right or wrong. And if you want to get in on the action right away, Vendetta Sports Media's got you covered. Go to symbol.app/Vendetta and use our exclusive promo code Vendetta, and you'll get a $10 bonus when making your first deposit. Symbol, taking fantasy sports to a whole other level.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Kriegs Corner, Corner to K. Scotty Ice back on the show. Scott's nice and tan, living it up in Florida. Scotty, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got like 1 month left here, so I'm trying to soak in the sun until I'm back to cold New York.
So jealous. Listen, today was nice. It was like 60s, not 60s, like 50s here, but it's tomorrow gonna be cold as shit again. But
Yeah.
Scott, I referred to this before, the biggest Nets fan I know. Obviously, the Nets were in every single NBA headline this weekend. They signed Blake Griffin after he got bought out by the Pistons. Scott, how do you feel about this?
So my main thought is that like this is the kind of thing that like the Bron sexuals as they're called, like they just pour this kind of thing on where it's like, yo, like the Nets needed Durant, Harden, Kyrie, and Blake Griffin to beat LeBron, like as if Blake Griffin is even in that stratosphere anymore. Like
Not
Blake
even close.
he's nowhere near what he used to be. Like the man is just he's a spot up shooter. Like I guess he's an okay 3-point shooter now. He can like handle the ball, make some plays, but like he's not this high flying like dunker, like bodying down low. Like that's not his game at all. He's not even close to a superstar. Like, he'll bring some playoff experience, but he's not going to start. Like, I mean,
No, he's not the guy that dunked over that car in the dunk contest all those years back. I think he hasn't dunked since 2019, they were saying, which is literally crazy considering how tall he is in the NBA.
Yep.
Even if I don't think that he's gonna have much of an impact. But my thought is that he can only help. If he's as bad as he was with the Pistons, he'll just continue to, ride the bench, get maybe like 7-8 minutes a game, give their guys a break when they need it. You kind of alluded to this before. He does have like the ability to create a little bit of plays. His ability to shoot has kind of can stretch out the court, and Trey and Jared were talking about this on their NBA short, is that he's going to have room on the court to shoot. Like the Nets spread out the court really well, but yeah, I mean, I think you alluded to it, is that he's not the guy he's not going to be the difference maker on this team to bring them to the next level. He's just another big name that could potentially sell some tickets, and
Exactly.
it's even if
Yeah.
who knows what he's going to bring to the table.
I'm wondering, like, realistically how many minutes he'll even get, like, come playoff time. Like, I don't see him playing crunch time in like big playoff games. Maybe I'm wrong, and like this is what he needed, just like a chance to like get remotivated and rejuvenate his body. But I don't see it happening, and I really just hate like how you know like because he's now going against LeBron. These guys are just trying to like form the narrative that he's the sensational player, and that this is LeBron has to go up against Blake Griffin too. Like, shut the hell up. That man he's washed.
Yeah, and he, I saw that all over Twitter as well, and it's just such a joke. Like, this team did not get any better. It's not like you said. If he even plays come playoff time, because the playoffs, they shorten the bench, and
Yep.
they get 7 guys that will give them quality minutes. Blake probably won't be one of them, and I mean we're gonna kind of get like a little bit of insight into that in the second half of the season, if how much he plays, because I don't even know if Durant's fully healthy, if he how long he like whatever what his deal is, and they're gonna need guys to eat up some minutes and maybe some blowouts or whatever the case may be. But if that's him, good for him. And I don't see him pulling a James Harden where he just kind of like ate his way out of town in Houston. I don't think that's what Blake did.
Nah.
He's kind of old.
Yeah,
His knees
he's
hurt,
just
and
his body just broke down.
yeah,
He's not even playing tonight. The Nets are playing. They're home versus Boston. And he's not playing. So I guess he's still not fully healthy even to play now. So I'm not buying into any hype.
it's good. It's good to know. I think everyone's kind of on the same page. I mean, I think Blake Griffin's like one of those names and one of those guys that everyone would like to see healthy and great for the sport of basketball again. But
Yeah.
this is
Oh,
not
awesome,
the
dude.
team that he's going to be successful on. This is not what if this is what he takes for him to get a ring, then so be it. But
Yep.
it won't be like a ring that he would have earned with the Lob City Clippers. It'll just kind of be like a footnote on his career.
Yep. And people, will kind of compare it to like Dwight Howard, like end of career, like yada yada. But like, dude, Blake doesn't even like he's not a body banger anymore. He's kind of just hangs on the perimeter. Like Dwight made an impact last year, just using his big ass body, just making an impact in the paint. Like that's not who Blake is.
Yeah, I mean, if Blake ends up getting a few rebounds, like, and help him push the ball in transition, it'll be great for them. But
Yeah.
he hasn't been, like you said, he hasn't been down in the paint much this season. I mean, he hasn't played for God knows how long with the Pistons while they were trying to work out his buyout.
Yep.
It's just like the NBA is so weird where you just get this guaranteed contract money. He say you don't want to play anymore. I mean, he didn't, not that he said he didn't want to play, but they didn't want him anymore, so they just fucking sit him out. He gets a bag and a half to leave, and then he gets to go sign another contract somewhere else.
Yep.
It's literally the players' league.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, how you feeling about the Nets? They're gonna make some noise.
Yeah. I feel very good about the Nets. I'm like gun to my head. I'm taking them to win the title. Genuinely.
Good to know. Good to
There have
know.
been there's bad talk there's Durant's hamstring might be worse than we think. Like I don't care if he doesn't play a game until the playoffs. Like that man is a freak of nature. Like all he has to do is sit in the gym and just get shots up, and you can't stop him. Just can't.
Even a Durant at like 50 to 60% is still a top 10 player in the league. And he doesn't, that's the thing that they built with this fucking team, is that he doesn't have to be the number one guy. They have 3 guys that can literally
Yep.
take over the game at any given moment. And Harden and Kyrie, and Blake obviously is not in that same category, but
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see what happens. All right, so March Madness is right around the corner. Scott and I both came prepared with our favorite March Madness moments. However, right before we started recording, Scott, being the genius that he is, gave me a great content idea. We're going to debut it right now. Things I learned on TikTok. Scott is the TikTok god. He's always on that app. He's posting. He's got a few funny ones. Every time they come across my For You page, I get a good laugh out of it. Scott, what'd you learn on TikTok?
Well, first, I just want to say that, people, they hate on TikTok. Like, oh, TikTok is just like 16-year-old girls who think they're hot, like
That's
dancing.
such a fucking lazy argument because just like all social media, like,
Exactly.
sorry to interrupt, but like everything, like Instagram was always just for girls. Now it's literally just another platform for creators to create content, and TikTok is literally takes the most like production.
Hell yeah.
These kids are literally learning video editing skills, all this even though it's not like professional or whatever the fuck you guys want to call it. It's just like any other social media platform. It grew, it became super popular. Everyone's on it now, so that like 16-year-old lazy argument is just lazy.
TikTok is awesome, and somehow they fucking like steal your data and tailor it to what you want to see, which is creepy, but like I appreciate it. Like keep doing that, TikTok. Do whatever you got to
The
do.
For You page algorithm they have is literally incredible. I
Yep.
don't care how much data they steal. They literally know exactly what you want to watch, when you want to watch it, and how frequently to give it to you.
Yep, it's wild, but I love it. So, all right. So things I learned on TikTok. I'm gonna start with two, just because they're very different. But number one, it kind of relates to me because I recently had to get from Orlando to Jacksonville. I had to rent a car to do it. And I'm not 25, so they kind of fuck you with like insurance for being under 25. Stupidest rule in
Shit's
America.
so bad. When I visited you guys, I literally got bent over the fucking fire with my
Yeah.
rental car fees.
Yeah.
All right,
And
continue.
I'm 25 in a month and a half, so I was like even more mad about it. But so like, obviously TikTok heard me complaining about this to the other guys that I'm living with because TikTok's creepy as fuck, and they sent me a video to my For You page. You never have to rent a car again, dude. You can rent a fucking U-Haul truck for $20 for a day. And it's like, so like, all right, it's $20 a day plus like the one I'm looking at right now, just like a typical truck, is like 80 cents a mile. So it's not ideal if you have to drive like 4 hours, like that will add up. But if you just like need a car for a day and you're going to be, drive around the town that you're in, like all the cars at your house are gone, and you want to go to the gym, the supermarket, like even if you need it for 2 or 3 days, like it's 1/8 of the price for us renting a car. To get an actual car for 2 days, I paid like upwards of 190, $200, like plus tax. A U-Haul truck, if I just need to, have a car for the day, $20. Say I drive 30 miles, that's $24. I'm paying under $50 to have a car for the day.
It's incredible. I wish I would have known that when I visited you guys because I
It's fucking
literally,
crazy.
it was insane. We rented the car for a week, like not even, and it was almost like $150 a person. I split it between 4 people. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah,
That's good to know. Thank
super
you, TikTok,
expensive.
for that one.
Get a U-Haul truck. And two, so you and I both like, we like to go to the gym. Not that we're the strongest kids in the world, but cardio is it's not my number one. I never do cardio. This workout kind of made its way to me on TikTok, and once again, TikTok knew like don't start telling Scott to run like 5 miles. It's never happening. I actually debuted this thing today. You get on the treadmill, you set it to the 12% incline, 3 miles per hour, and you walk for 30 minutes.
I
12,
will say,
12, 330.
I did know this. I've done this before. Like one of my wrestling coaches when I was at college, like at the end of our days, at the end of our practices, like for conditioning, he would just crank our shits up. But we were doing a little bit more than 3 miles per hour because whatever, we were conditioning. But bro, you break a fucking
I
sweat doing that.
sweat my balls off. It was awesome. Like my heart rate was up. Like I think I only burned like 400 calories, whatever it was. But like I more importantly got the heart rate going, was sweating my balls off, and like my body is not in pain. Like my legs don't hurt that bad. Like it was just a good little sweat. That's all I needed.
Yeah, and the mental aspect of walking versus running, it's incredible. You can walk for, like you said, a half hour, whether you do it for a half
Yep.
hour, hour, versus running for a half hour on a treadmill. And I hate treadmills so much. It's just so
Yeah,
boring, and
they
just
suck.
even
Hey,
just
you know what? You
cardio
just
in general.
you throw on Kriegs Korner into the headphones and it flies right by, right? That's all.
Yo, I would please, if you're listening to that, even if you just put it on silent, run it through, go one AirPod in, one AirPod out. But it is all right. I guess I have to like, I'm like only a fraction into TikTok as much as I should be. Like I do watch it a little bit. Like I get sent a good amount of TikToks on a daily basis from whoever the case may be, girlfriend, friends, everyone's literally involved in that shit now.
Everyone.
So I have to. God, there should be some cool shit. I won't. I did learn this on TikTok. However, I won't say I specifically learned it from TikTok. I heard it on a podcast, and then it came to me on TikTok, or it came to me from TikTok. But
Got it.
supposedly, pink used to be the color of males, and blue used to be the color of females, and that was like a big switch. And also, high heels used to be for men only, and like
Really?
that was like a King Louis the 14th kind of thing, and that's where red bottoms, Louboutins, comes from Louis the 14th of France. Hmm.
That
Makes
sounds
you
right to
think.
me. That
Now
that's
these
wild.
fucking gender, everyone's looking for a gender norm thing. We fucking flipped it. They flipped it on us. And now no one even knows. Now if you're a guy wearing pink, it's you got some agenda.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wait. Did you want to talk about your boy Myers Leonard?
Dude, it's crazy. I, it's funny you bring that up. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier with Bradley, but first of all, like, how do you gonna? Okay, I will just go the whole thing over just in case anyone missed it. Myers Leonard, he's a member of the Miami Heat. He's currently hurt. He's from Portland. He's like an average middle of the road basketball player. He is. I don't know however you feel about this. The one picture that's been recirculating of him is when everyone was taking a knee, and then at the bubble, he was the only one standing. So that doesn't really help with any of his like racism or anti-Semitic arguments. But so he was streaming on Twitch. He's a big gamer. Dude, it's funny enough. Like I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a big Twitch guy. I'm always watching. I've been into it for a few years now, and it's like with Fortnite kind of being less popular amongst kids my age, Warzone's the game. Myers has been streaming that pretty frequently. He streams with a lot of people I watch. He plays during the day. It's cool that NBA players and video games are like, and not even just NBA players, but video games and pro athletes are merging, because it's a little like it's
Yeah, it's awesome.
video games used to be like taboo, esports, like everyone was like you were a nerd. Now like Kyler Murray's got a Twitch stream. Like everyone streams on Twitch. It's cool. Everyone plays video games, and especially with the pandemic when everyone was like forced to be home, streams were coming up, players were playing. It was tons of cool opportunities. This dude Myers on a Twitch stream. I wrote about it earlier. I'll link it down below in the blog, and if it's on the YouTube, I'll put in the comments as well. This dude Myers was playing Warzone. He was getting sniped at. He was like, "Stop fucking sniping me! Stop fucking sniping me!" And then he goes, hard pause. He goes, "You fucking," literally like 2 second wind up. He could, in that 2 seconds. First of all, I can't imagine what he was actually going to say if that he stopped himself and then splurted the K word out. But like, that has to be something that's in your vocabulary pretty frequently for you to think that it's okay to say after a pause like that. Second of all, just like have a brain, dude. Like you're literally, no matter how good you are at NBA, you're playing the NBA, you stream video games, people look up to you. You're putting yourself on a live platform where everything, you don't get a chance to edit it. There's no like, oh, like whoops, whatever it is. Did you just like fucking splurt it out? I mean, listen, I'm not really about the cancel culture life. You know this. I hate that like fucking you can't make a joke or whatever it is, but this is like a hard no. I mean, and he's definitely paying for it. He's already been like indefinitely suspended by the Heat. He's actually an investor in FaZe, which is like the biggest esports organization, has been for a bunch of years now, and they already disassociated themselves with him. He got banned on Twitch, which means that not only can he not stream on Twitch anymore, all of the people that he normally plays with can who do also stream on Twitch, they cannot play with him. They can't hear his voice. He cannot be on a Twitch stream. That is not changing. The Heat stuff will obviously change a little bit, but just fucking crazy. These people are absolutely insane.
I think the most important thing you said is like have a brain, dude. Like how can you be that dumb?
I don't get. I really don't get it. It's incredible. I mean,
No, I'm also like you. Like I'm not about cancel culture. I'm not asking for this guy to be like kicked out of the league, but a $50,000 fine is like literally like a flick on the ear. Like, yeah, it's not ideal, but it's not impacting this guy's life at all. It's really not.
has no impact on his life, and I forget what the other fines were, but like using that word was the same fine as like maybe breaking COVID protocols or something like that. Like the two are not even close to the same scale.
Yeah.
I don't
You know,
know.
it's not going to really impact him like in the locker room. Just, you know, it's not like there's many Jews in the NBA where like,
But in
but like,
Miami, it will. There's a lot of Jews in Miami, and
like
also
fans for sure will hate
the
him
owner
always.
of the Heat is like a very like notable like Jewish person who's very like in touch with the Jewish community. I don't know what's going to happen. And like you said, the locker room in the NBA is not really full of people like Scott and I. But
Well, you remember when like Riley Cooper on the Eagles, you know, dropped the N word. Like, I don't know how you walk into a locker room after that in the NFL. Like, you don't. But like, you know, so this guy's not going to face that. But you know, hopefully
unless he just becomes like the poster child and they're gonna like use him as the example, like I mean, like we said, I think he averages like under 6 points a game. He's actually hurt right
yeah,
now. Like if the NBA wants to take a stand, like they would use him, which isn't right. I mean, obviously way worse shit has been done. He did
for
it to
sure.
himself. I don't feel bad for him at all, but just a fucking like just like have a brain.
Yeah,
Use like a little bit of
exactly.
common sense. And like Julian Edelman came to like put out like a notes app, and you know, if he learns from it, but like you can't say like you didn't know what the meaning is. Like no, you wound up hard K bomb and then just kept going.
Yeah,
And that clip of him getting a phone call was like, "Oh, sorry, my wife needs me." It's like, no,
yeah, that was awesome. That
it's
was
like
the
it's like
best
no,
part.
dude, your fucking world is about to collapse around you because you made a dumbass decision. You said something really stupid, super offensive, and like you're gonna pay the consequences.
Yeah,
It
that was
sucks
awesome.
sucks for him. The one thing I will say is that I'm not gonna pat myself in the back or anything. However, the Vendetta and the site had that posted well before Bleacher Report had it up, well before ESPN, before it had kind of made its way around. So that was a good day for the site at least.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sucks that was what it took, but listen, views are views. We're in a impression type business, and especially now we have our first partner, so getting eyeballs on the site is crazy.
For sure.
All right, that was that. Thanks for that. I kind of was gonna gloss over it, but dude, fuck Mars Leonard.
I'm just trying to get you ranting, bro. That's my
What? Yeah.
goal here. All I want is to get you ranting.
That's my boy Scott. All right, into the college hoop stuff. March Madness, we're in the heart of conference, or not the heart. We're in the very start of conference tournament week. Bids, tickets are going to be punched. Bids are going to be going. Duke, ACC tournament out already. Kind of sucks because as much as everyone hates on Duke and they're having a shit year, like it would have been cool for them to be like a fucking, what were they, like a 15 seed if they were to just run the whole ACC tournament, shock some people, and get an
Yeah, I mean
automatic bid.
they would have ended up like, you know, because all the 15 seed is reserved for like the random ass schools in the small conferences who win their conference. Like they would have got like, you know, probably like a 10 and like been like an upset threat to a 7, that kind of thing. But
I mean, I was talking about the ACC tournament because I think
sorry,
they were
sorry,
no, no.
sorry.
I think there were 15 seeds in the ACC.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
think they're
you're
going to make
right.
the tournament. I don't
No,
think.
they're definitely not. I'm saying
Yeah,
if they had ran the table and won the ACC, they would have made the tournament. You know, but
yeah, they would have been like a 14. Oh, they would have won. If they would have won the ACC, they probably would have been like a 10 or 11. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
No, yeah.
now
Oh, they're
Duke's
done.
officially out.
Yeah,
It's
season's over.
kind of crazy. Big Ten tournament's about to kick off. Dude, Big Ten's deep this year. Illinois. I was seeing Penn State, like they had the hardest schedule in college basketball this year, and the way that these conference schedules worked is that these teams just get to beat up on each other all the time. Ohio State is like they were peaking, and then now they're literally having the worst stretch of their life at the worst time. At the worst time of the year, that fucks up their seeding.
Yeah, it's tough.
Dude, it's the best time of the year is really literally right around the corner. It kind of
I
feels
know,
like
man.
surreal because we got robbed of it last year, and it's one of those things where you don't want to get your hopes up. But
dude, last year, like, I mean, I guess it was like 2 days from now, like tonight, a year ago was the Gobert thing, and then college basketball held out for like another day or maybe half a day or something.
is that
Like
1 year ago today? The Gobert thing?
Yeah, 1 year ago.
Shish.
Oh no, what? 1 year ago today, he was like kissing the mic, I think.
Yeah. That's
or
what.
no, I
That's
remember.
that's what I thought you were talking about, where he would literally kissed his finger and touched every single mic and
Yeah,
camera in the press conference. Dude,
like,
what a fucking idiot!
I know he was so dumb, but I didn't really care that like the NBA shut down. Like when COVID really hit me was when they canceled like these conference tournaments and they canceled March Madness. That was when I was like, oh my god, like life is about to suck for a while. So yeah, that was a bummer. But look,
Crazy. I forgot we're coming up on 1 year of that. It doesn't feel real. I mean, I could tell you, for me, when it was real was so today we're recording on the 11th, the 12th. I'm still in school. The 12th last year was when my school went fully remote for the remainder of the semester, and then the next day, like me and all my friends, everyone was working from home at that point. Things had literally just started to shut down. We all piled in my living room with our monitors, and we were all just like, oh, like this is what it's gonna be like 2 weeks. The blah blah blah. We'll be fine.
yeah.
1 fucking year later, we're still living in this shit.
Yeah. I was the same way. I left everything in my office. Like they were like, all right, like we're gonna test work from home for 2 days just to like see if we could do it if we had to. So I like, okay, I leave all my shit at my desk and then never went back. It's shit's still there.
Now you're in fucking Florida. You're in a different state.
Yep.
Dude, I don't really want to get too much into this, but it is insane that how much the world has changed, and like people might never ever go back to an office. Like some companies obviously are going to want to, but we kind of saw it, like all the companies leaving the city, and like now you can just do everything from home. Like it's gonna be a hard wake up period for some of these people to go back to an office and wake up and get ready and take a commute. Like the first day, like shit's really open back up in the city, and people are gonna walk through Grand Central and be like, "Oh shit! Like we haven't done this in over a year."
Yeah. I'm thinking it's like more likely that most companies are gonna be more of like hybrid, like 3 days a week in, 2 days a week. Like I don't understand how like, as long as employees are still being productive, like why are you gonna make them commute and like waste time, going to wherever their office is? Just
especially from where we're from in New York, where like it's pretty easy to get to the city. You hop on a train, you're in Grand Central within 45 minutes. But even still, like now you gotta wake up 45 minutes earlier to get on the train, and you gotta actually get ready. Now you're not working in a hoodie and pajama pants. Like girls gotta do their makeup. Like shit is just about to get like everyone's gonna have a hardcore reality check. And not to say that I'm not excited for the world to get back to normal, but like I didn't mind not having to go to school for a few days.
Of course.
It is what it is. Now that I'm back in school, it's a fucking shitty.
Dude, my alarm was set 2 hours earlier than it is now, but that's the last thing I'll say about it. Life is not that much worse now, but whatever. We can get into that another time.
I just want to go to I want to go to the baseball. I want to go to a baseball game. I want to go to games and shit that I miss. All right. I have actually one last thing on this. Dude, for some reason, the Mets and the Yankees are only having 10% capacity at their fucking games. They're outdoor stadiums. Meanwhile, 10% capacity. Meanwhile, I'm not even. Fuck it. I'm going to do it. They're allowed to have indoor dining at 50%. Indoor versus outdoor. Like, and when you're dining, sorry to break it to you folks, you're not wearing a mask when you're dining.
Yeah,
all right, I'm done with this. I'm done with
that's wild.
I could literally go on for fucking days, but I have one rule: it's no politics, and we're getting a slippery slope. It's my fault. All right, into college hoops. March Madness around the corner. Not only is the best time of the year for sports, it's also like one of the greatest weekends and times to be a sports gambler. There is wall-to-wall action. You can always chase your losses, which please chase responsibly. However, there's games kick off pretty much every 15 minutes or every half hour, whatever the case may be. From this year, it's going to be Friday to Monday as opposed to Thursday to Sunday.
Yep.
Whatever the case may be, it is just wall-to-wall action. Everyone's got a moment or two that stands out to them about their best college March Madness betting moments. Scott, why don't you tell me one or two of yours?
All right, so the one that stands out to me the most, and I don't think most people remember this year that way. UConn, when they won their second title with Shabazz Napier. Remember that?
Yeah.
Not the Kemba one, which was just like, I feel like everyone loved that. Like everyone was loving Kemba. Like he was just taking over the freaking tournament by himself. The first round that year, UConn won in OT versus St. Joe's. St. Joe's like completely choked away the game. They're up by 3 with less than a minute left. Like they fouled the UConn player shooting a jumper with like 15 seconds left. The guy made the free throw. It ended up going to OT and they lost. So right there, like, UConn should have lost first round. They go on to win the tournament. I remember they beat Florida, I think, in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 to bust my bracket. But it's just like that kind of thing. Like it always reminds me, like, it's really like any team can beat anyone on any given day. Like this shit really is March Madness. And just that kind of example. I always remember this time of year, like first round, like these games matter even, for the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have one moment that stands out to me, and I'm gonna reference it later in the show a little bit as well when we do our actual best March Madness moments. However, when it comes to like gambling, my first time having like a big winner, everyone does their brackets. Everyone has, everyone's in their pools with their people, and they got whatever they got going on. 2016, Villanova UNC, the finals. I was top 4 in the bracket. I was in 4th place or whatever, and the 3 people ahead of me all had UNC. I had Villanova. We'll talk about it later in the show, but Villanova obviously wins on that crazy 3 in the last second after UNC hit one of the literally probably the best yet most forgotten shot in college basketball history.
That floating 3-pointer, right?
Incredible shot that literally no one remembers because of the Villanova 3 later in that game. However, I won like $450, and that was 2016 college, like my only year at Coastal, and boy, that shit really tickled my balls and really got me into like the big, like, oh shit, you can win money betting on sports like this, like having a prediction, like no matter what it was, like I think they were the 1 seed or maybe they were a 2 seed, so their odds wouldn't have been that great. But like you get them in the beginning of the tournament, they're probably like plus 800 before like all the odds change. Nah, I turned $10 into $450, and I was like, oh shit, this is gambling. That rush I felt watching that game, I remember. Like I was watching, like I said, in college, and we didn't have cable back then, or we didn't have cable in the dorms, and I was just watching it on my like laptop. And this is my biggest gripe with streaming games, that you're on a delay, no matter how.
Dude, I have the same story. It's so fucked up.
It's the worst. And one of my friends fucking texted me, oh my God. And I thought it was about the UNC shot. That's how far behind I was in the game. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like an idiot, I look on Twitter and then I see what happened before it actually happens. And so that, my friends, is why I will never ever cut the cord. I will get rid of I'll get rid of all the fucking premium channels. I don't need any of that shit. I need every single sports channel on my cable box so I don't miss anything by a second. Like, I know if the Mets win the World Series and I don't have it the second everyone else does, it will spoil the entire thing for me. And
100%.
I don't need that.
For that moment, I was in the library. I had a fucking like exam the next day, and like someone at the table over was a few seconds ahead of me. So like they got the game on too. We all have the game on at our like study table because like, what are you doing? And I hear someone go, oh, like, and then I see the shot, and I'm just like, I know it's going in. I'm like, fuck, like I was so mad. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? I'm like mad at this kid who like, of course he's gonna react when he sees it, but I'm just. Streaming sucks, man.
Streaming does suck, especially for sports when like everything changes minute by minute, and when everyone's watching something and it's on Twitter, like and this is probably one of my like this is my ADD talking, but I cannot just watch a game. I need to be on Twitter. I need
You
to be
gotta be on Twitter.
I need to be chopping it up with the fans. I need to know what other people are thinking. I want to get my takes off like in real time. And when you're a few seconds behind, it's just like fucking the worst.
Yo,
but on the other hand, when you're a few seconds
why
ahead,
is it behind? No one talks. Like, what's the reason? Fucking, it shouldn't be behind.
so dumb. And like I understand that even like what we see on TV is a few seconds behind because SEC rules and all that shit. You need to bleep out the curses, and we saw that especially this year when no fan noise and everything was super like loud. You can hear the chatter on the field, but like no. I need to be as close to the actual game as I can be in real time. And if I miss that shit,
Yeah.
All right, Scott, give me some of your memories.
I mean, probably my best. So I actually won my bracket. I'm technically still defending champion because there was no tournament last year. So I actually had UVA winning it all. It was a pretty crazy year, the last tournament. So like, I think by the time it was the finals, I had actually already won. Like I won when UVA beat Auburn in the Final Four. Like that sealed it for me. But the game before that, UVA played against Purdue in what was like an absolutely fucking epic game. That was when like Carson Edwards was just scoring every single bucket for Purdue. And UVA was, I mean, they were fucked. They were down and out. There was like 4 seconds left. They had the ball on their own half of the court, and their freshman point guard, like this little like 5'10" dude, Kihei Clark, like who he really probably only was like playing serious minutes because like he was a freshman and he's a future of the program. Like now he's actually really good, but like in this moment it was like this guy is playing big minutes because like
it's a program builder.
Exactly
that type of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was like a smart player, like not making mistakes, but like he couldn't hit a jumper. Like he was little. He made this crazy pass to Mamadi Diakite, who was like a really good big man, but like he wasn't the kind of guy who was supposed to hit like game tying floaters as time expired. It was just really just a completely ridiculous play that I don't think people really like remember because it was like in the Elite Eight. But it forced overtime, and then UVA went on to win, and it was just such an unbelievable play. That, and then later on, I think in the game versus Auburn, like Kyle Guy got fouled hitting a three. Made all 3 free throws to tie it, or no, to win it. I think he made all 3 to take the lead. But that run was magical for UVA. Everything broke right, and Scott won money.
Awesome story. Awesome for Scott. All right, it's just we're doing it that kind of naturally, but right now, Scott and we each came prepared with our best March Madness moments. From I don't know if I made this clear to you, but I wanted it to be from like 2010 to 2020 or the most decade, just
I'm
because
not pulling out
fresh people's memories. Obviously,
90s
there's
shit.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I have either specific shots or like runs. We'll go a little snake draft style because I'm sure Scott and I are gonna have some similar memories. Obviously, everyone kind of has the same fond March Madness memories, but why don't you go first?
Damn. I kind of already used 2 of mine. Is that okay? Like
I use one of mine. No,
all
go.
right, yeah, all right. I mean, yeah. So the ones I mentioned are whatever. But I would say the Kevin Love UCLA year. This was way back. They ended up losing to Florida in the Final Four, but this was like I must have been in 6th grade, 7th grade. It was like my first year, like really locked into college basketball, like filling out my own bracket. Completely fell in love with Kevin Love. A kid in my grade actually is cousins with Kevin Love, who are like I had a couple of classes with. So like we would go crazy rooting for this guy. Like the next day at school when he had a big game. So I was like super behind UCLA. And yeah, I mean, I'll always remember like that team, like in those light blue jerseys back when UCLA was actually good, like a top 10 program. Just, I
Russell
mean,
Westbrook was on those teams, right? That was
um,
later.
no, so they did play together. I think they played together for only 1 year, and I don't think Westbrook was on the team that I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude. UCLA basketball is just kind of like I feel like they're irrelevant now. I haven't heard their name brought up in so long. I mean, they had Lonzo, and that was kind of their like introduction back into
Yeah, that was the last.
national contention. But I
But
can't.
even then, like they weren't real contenders. Like,
No, they just had Lonzo and his
yeah,
dad and a loud mouth that gave them nonstop media attention. All right. While Scott's looking that one up, I did kind of mention what my number one moment is. It's a selfish moment, but like that UNC Nova championship game, that shot that the UNC hit before um, the Villanova and eventual game winner. But it's one of like the greatest sports moments or actions that will just never ever be talked about because it did not matter. However, that shit was crazy.
that was
Um, I'll go my
even
next one.
even though it was ruined by us being behind, but it's fine.
Yeah, I tend to ignore that part. My next one, I'm just gonna go the Florida Gulf Coast 2013 team. That was I was I guess I'm a little bit of a later bloomer into college hoops. Basketball's never been my number one thing, but like that was when I really fell in love with college basketball and specifically the tournament, just because of how, um, you know, how these schools that have no names, we've seen it before, Davidson and Steph Curry, like guys rise to the top, John Morant and Murray State. But that Florida Gulf Coast team did not have any of those people. They were just fucking dunk city, ran up the score, and that was that was one of the greatest upsets I could remember.
Yeah, that was awesome. And
I,
it's
I
like
applied to that school after too.
and they won 2 games. Like a lot of times, like
It's
you
a one
don't,
and done thing. Yeah,
yeah,
no.
like you'll see like a wild upset, and then that team just gets massacred the next game versus like another good team. Because I mean, there's no easy games in March Madness. It's like the 64 or so best teams. So like you'll see like a 14 beat a 3, and then it could go up against like a 6 seed like Iowa State random team and just get killed.
Yeah, a
It's
team
like,
that plays a real schedule all year, like
yeah,
actually
exactly.
has 5-star recruits. But nah, this
Yeah.
this Gulf Coast team made it through the first weekend. Um, Dude, shout out Fort Myers. I think that's where they're at. Fort Myers, Florida. Their fun fact: their college applications went up 600% that next year. Nah, I applied there.
That's
No
crazy.
football team though, so kind of
Yeah,
shitty.
that's ridiculous. But
All right, hit me with
um,
yours.
all right. I feel like it's an obvious one. But Butler basketball. Um, so they had 2 years in a row where they got to the finals and lost. But I think like the more impressive one to me was the second year. So they had Gordon Hayward that first year, the year when he, that shot rimmed out against Duke,
Yeah,
which is like an all-time what if. Like if that went in, it becomes like the craziest shot in basketball history. Like
100%.
the
Beating
Cinderella
Duke like
upsets
that.
Duke at the like he would. I mean, he's a all-star making 35 million bucks a year in the NBA, but like if he makes that shot, his whole life is like even crazier.
Crazy that
Um,
Brad Stevens was on the coach of that team too, and like the
yeah,
two of them have just like blossomed into yeah, everyone kind of had higher hopes for Gordon Hayward, especially when he signed that Celtics deal, but he obviously had that tragic injury. But like Brad
yeah,
Stevens just fucking chugging along. He's a very,
yeah,
very good NBA coach.
yeah.
Sorry.
That man just knows basketball. But now what was crazier, and this is more a testament to Brad Stevens, is that so Hayward got drafted that year, like he's a top 10 pick, and they just came back and made the finals again. They just like literally came right back. I think they were a 7 seed the next year, and they were fucking right back in the final four. It was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, dude. I guess shout out Brad Stevens. That dude did some crazy things. Butler,
Best
Indiana,
player
out
was like
of nowhere.
Shelvin Mack, who like, he ended up becoming an NBA player, but not a really good one. But
No, he was definitely not Gordon Hayward-esque or anything like that. All right, I'll go next. This one was just, I feel like if I didn't include it, it would be a little bit ridiculous. Virginia losing the first number one seed to ever lose to a 16 seed. I watched that game wire to wire. That team got it. It wasn't like they like had a crazy shot. They got beat wire to wire in that game. They just got
yeah,
outplayed, and we there's someone from our area on that team, and we were kind of like he's probably one of the few kids from our area that I don't actually root for. But watching that team lose and just be a part of history and their faces and like the dismay and like just being witnessing history like that because it's the first time it ever happened. I don't know. I can't see it ever happening again because like the 116 matchup is that matchup for a reason. It's usually the top four team in the country versus the bot, like, between 60 and 64. Those teams are the top in the country for a reason. But I mean, if any team was going to do it, it was going to be that Virginia team because the way that they just played defense, they couldn't score. They weren't an offensive team. I think they went like under in almost every single game, and we get to laugh about it now because it wasn't a program killer, and they followed up the next year with winning the
yeah,
whole
with the
thing.
win.
But
What's not talked about enough from that is that like their top, like they had a guy DeAndre Hunter who was a freshman that year, ended up being picked in the top 5 like the year after they won it all, who didn't play in that game because he like hurt his foot or something. So like yeah, like I mean, there's still a 1 seed, probably like a 20-point favorite, had no business losing that game, but like
I wonder what that spread was.
yeah, I I'm sure it'll happen again someday, but wild.
Not anytime soon, I don't think.
No, no, no.
All right, hit me with your next one.
This next one, it's a little sappy story. I'll never forget. Just like being at the high school girlfriend's house for this crazy Michigan game. They were a whole Michigan family. And Trey Burke hits this
Yup.
disgusting 3-pointer versus Kansas to force OT. And like, dude, like some people are like petty and like when they're with people who all like are so hectic about wanting a team to win, like they'll root against that team. And I hate those people so much. Like if I'm with the squad and they all want like a certain somebody to win or do well, like I'm all in on getting behind that. And when Trey Burke hit this 3, like this fucking Michigan faithful family erupted, and like I was bleeding blue, bro. I was like loving the Wolverines. It was like an epic moment. They ended up winning the game, beating fucking Kansas, like absolute blue blood.
Me and you were on the same page with that, where like the same, you can't be. My theory is like if like we're all in the same room, we're all watching the game together. Like obviously, like common logic would be like fade the public, and if 8 people in the room are on one side, like probably the other side's the smart money. However, how are you going to be rooting against your boys or whoever you're with at the time? Like it just
Dude,
makes for an
people do
awkward,
that.
uncomfortable environment. I know you guys in your house down there, you guys are pretty much on the same page with that.
People
But
do it, bro. People who, especially if people who like who don't gamble and they like, oh, like you have money on this, you're rooting for them, and they'll just start rooting against you. And I'm like, are you kidding?
the worst is that if you have them in your bracket and I have actual dollars on them, I don't give
Yeah,
a fuck about your bracket. I don't
right.
give
You
a
don't get to
fuck.
talk.
And
Yeah.
even if they win and everyone advances and the team that I was betting on against the spread wins and you had them, like cool, I'm still gonna be miserable if they didn't cover. Like I don't give a fuck about your
Yep.
$10 entry, your $20 entry to your tournament. I just lost whatever my unit size may be on that game, and it wasn't fun watching. I hate every second of it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I guess I'm up next. I will. So I kind of have, I was gonna say I kind of have 2, but I really don't. My next one, as far as like incredible shots go, you had the Gordon Hayward one that missed, the UNI half court shot against, I think it was against Texas in 2016. Just like, I don't know why half court shots are awesome to watch. Like whatever their percentages are, they're incredible. And when you need them to win or to tie or whatever the case may be, like holy shit, that it was incredible.
Yeah.
That honestly, that one might be an honorable mention because I have one more in my head that I have to look up. But all right, go.
I only have one last one. It's Duke losing in the first round to Mercer. With Jabari Parker, like who was like, potential number one pick. It was him versus Wiggins, like, and I mean, Jabari had a really good year, but like he lost that game. Like there were a lot of questions about him going into the draft. He was still picked second overall, and he just like never even really came close to panning out. And it's just honestly a hilarious Duke story. Like that they lost to Mercer. Like I mean, Coach K is getting a lot of shit right now. Just about this year in general. Past few years haven't been too great for Duke. He underachieved with the Zion team for sure.
Oh, 100%. That team, if that team on paper was incredible, and
Yep.
just for them to not win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, you get 3 top 8, whatever, 8, 9, 10 picks. I don't even know exactly what it was. And they had 1, 3, and whatever Cam Reddish went, he was for sure top 10. And they got beat up pretty bad by Michigan State, who like I don't think they had any NBA players on that team, to be honest.
So yeah, no, you're right. And this is the one thing I wanted to mention before with the UNI shot. So that the reason that UNI shot stands out is because so they were the 11 seed, they beat Texas, the 6 seed, to make it to the second round, and then this I'll kind of put these two together as my moments. Texas A&M came back from 12 points down in 45 seconds to beat UNI the next game, and I remember watching because whatever the time may be, like I was probably in class or doing something, and whatever. There's probably another game on, and I was like, blowout. What's the point of watching? All of a sudden, I'm on Twitter, like, holy shit, this might happen. Holy shit, this might happen. And I thought the scoreboard was broken. They scored 12 points in less than 45 seconds, came back, took the lead, and ended up beating UNI, Texas A&M. Craziness.
Crazy, dude. Only March.
Yeah, only March. So they forced overtime, and the only thing that would have been crazier is that UNI hit another half-court shot to win that game, which they took, but they ended up missing. A&M won the game in overtime, but just like insanity. That's why March is incredible in sports. You never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
You said you're done with yours, right?
Yep, I'm out.
All right, I got one more. This is the one game where I had money on them. Florida, Wisconsin, Sweet 16, the Garden, 2017. Florida hits that floater 3-pointer to win the game, where the guy literally took off from the top of the key, but landed at the free throw line, hits the 3, to advance the Elite 8. That was incredible. Probably one of the reasons why it was incredible was because Big Cat's reaction after him slumping down into his suite at the arena with PFT laughing behind him. But like, I bet on Wisconsin that game, of course, money line, loser.
It's always a loser, man.
Always a loser. The losers stand out way more than the winners.
So many more losses than wins. But
March Madness, best time of the year.
I'm very excited. We're like, when this comes out, we'll be 1 week away.
Yeah, people are saying it starts on Thursday still, even though it's just like the first 4 games. Don't feed me that bullshit. I don't care. I don't care about the 17 and the 16 seed facing off the seed who's gonna get a chance to get their ass kicked next round.
Yeah,
cool for them to get a tournament appearance, whatever you want to call it, but I don't give a fuck. One last note before we wrap up. I don't know if I mentioned this last show or 2 shows ago, but if you are a live gambler, keep your eyeballs out for broken lines. That was one of my best wins of my life. USC was plus 16.5 live when they were up 16 with like 5.5 minutes left in the game. Kept my bankroll alive for the rest of the tournament. So if you do that, keep your eyeballs out responsibly. Yeah, I mean, and I guess my one thing I would say about that is if you see a big seed go down early, don't panic. It's March. You want to go live bullets, like go find a money line. They'll probably won't be anywhere close to what you think they should be. If they're down 15 with 10 minutes left in the first half, they're not going to be plus money. I promise you that. But you get a team that was normally like a 17, 18 point favorite down to like
Yeah,
a
they go down.
minus 120, 130 money line. Like it's worth a unit or two just to, cover your big bet, cover your big spread. And, it's not the end of the world as opposed to losing 1.2 units. You only lose one. Like you might save yourself a little bit, especially. All right. One last question for you. How do you manage your bankroll when it comes to big tournaments like this, when you got 4 straight days of action that you gotta keep an eye on?
Yeah,
try to keep everything the same, or you pick spots, or how do you approach March Madness from a gambler's perspective?
It's so hard, dude. I mean, like, just don't go too big on day one. Like, don't get too excited that you're like betting pretty big on like 10 games. All of a sudden, you go 2-8, and you're like, wait, like, I don't even have money for Saturday. Like, just don't do that. Like, work your way into it. Have fun with it. Like, don't try and make $1 million this tournament. Like, just try and win more than you lose. Like, come away with a profit, get some entertainment. That's my advice. Don't hurt yourself.
I would say don't parlay games, because you especially when it comes like this, we just talked about all the crazy upsets. Like upsets will happen. 10 seeds will beat 7 seeds. The occasional 5 seed will lose. Like stay calm. Do you pick your spots, or do you kind of just you have an opinion on every game and you go?
I haven't decided how I'm going to go about it. Like, if I want to just throw like a few bucks on whatever game I'm watching, or like if I do want to pick my spots and go a little aggressive, like I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet. I mean, we got this stimulus check coming in, right? So it's like
I feel like we've been saying that for 3 months, Scott.
No, it's coming, dude. It's going to be here real soon. Biden just signed that bill today.
I swear to God, I better qualify. They've been talking about the college students, and like I could use that. I could use that in the year of our Lord 2021. I could use a nice stimmy.
That's all I got, man.
All right. That's gonna do it for this edition of Kriegs Korner. Reminder: gamble responsibly. We're just all having fun.
Please
don't brace your entire stimmy on one game. That would suck, and you would be really upset if you lost it all. All right, Scott, thanks for coming on. Guys, keep an eye out for that one thing I learned on TikTok. That's gonna be a nice little segment we're gonna introduce once or twice a week. I'm gonna have to start getting back in the TikTok game. Scotty Ice, thanks for joining. Let's talk to you guys next week.